Now, this is an interesting one, much talked about today. Jamie, you go first. And it's interesting today because FIFA's task force have said January, February or November, December would be the times to have the World Cup. What's your opinion on it being in Qatar and how would it affect the Barclays Premier League?
Well, we talk about the summer and the conditions there, and people are saying it's impossible to play in conditions there in the summer. So then people are talking about, OK, let's have it at some time through the season. How does that affect the Premier League? Leagues around the world, how do you finish the season then? Do you have a break at the end of that season, going into the next season? It's just madness that they've got the competition in the first place, I think, considering the conditions and how difficult it is or going to be for players to play there. And then to put it to January, February, when, in fact, the vote for the World Cup was not when we should have the World Cup, it's always at a specific time. So if Qatar couldn't host it at that time, because of the conditions, they shouldn't even be involved in the voting process.
I've got a slightly different view than that, I have to say. I mean, how they won it, that's one story. But if the Middle East is ever going to host a tournament, then you're going to have to make some provisions for them to host it. You know, you go to Abu Dhabi, you go to Qatar, you go to Dubai, or countries of that nature who potentially... The World Cup is a World Cup. It's moved around different continents. It should move around different continents. And if we're ever going to have a World Cup in the Middle East where it's 45, 50 degrees in the months of June and July, then they have to make special provisions for that continent to have it at a different time of the year. So forget about the Premier League and the Bundesliga, and they have to make provisions for it. The fact of the matter
one
is...
of those provisions be late night kickoffs?
The fact of the matter is it hasn't been planned that way. It wasn't sold that way, and how they won it are different stories.
Yep.
But in essence, should the Middle East ever have a World Cup? Yes, they should. Should they be made provisions for them to have it? Yeah, they should. So the end result's probably has been gotten to in the wrong way. But I think my view on it would be that the Middle East should have a World Cup, and that they should make provisions for it, because it's impossible to be there in the middle of June and July.
And that story is going to run and run.